I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here we go, career starts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. Spectacular fashion.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brooklyn, Michigan. Michigan International Speedway is the site for the next round of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, presented by Goat Locker, smack dab in the middle of the playoffs. This is going to be an absolute blast of a race on this 2-mile super speedway. You'll see it all live here tonight on V-Speed. Good evening, folks. I'm the Redneck Announcer, Jake Reeves, my good buddy Daniel Cunningham alongside, and Double L Lucas Lines on production here this evening. And I'm telling you, Daniel, buddy, these playoffs, they are already getting ready to get heated up, baby. We are fixing to see very, very cool racing here tonight at Michigan. How you doing, bud? After the long Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, doing good. Ready to get back racing here this evening at Michigan International Speedway. What a great track to kick off the round of 8. Only 3 races left in the season. This race here this evening at Michigan, and then next week we're heading off to Phoenix to round out this round of 8. That'll set the grid for the Championship 4 over there at Kansas. And yeah, I mean, I'm ready to get back after it after that Thanksgiving break. I'm sure these drivers are too. Hopefully you're ready to get this rolling here this evening too, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. We're ready to rock and roll here tonight. Season 8, there you see the schedule culminating all the way down to December 17th, as Daniel alluded to, going down to Kansas. Real quick, if we can, let's look at our standings. Let's see what we've got looking out right here for the playoffs. These are the drivers that made it into the round of 8. And remember, you win and you are in, but they got 2 weeks to do it. Michigan, Phoenix, and obviously Kansas, which we already talked about that. Anyway, round 8, Gardner, McElwain, Silvers, Wilms, Barkas, Canova, Dravic, Lemke. Ironically enough, Barkas and Dravic, both of them are in the round of 8. Daniel, I mean, the 2 boss men, I mean, they're in this. I mean, you know, somebody might have got pencil walked a little bit in the points. I'm just kidding. But anyway, which driver out of the round of 8 could you see right off the bat here tonight, right off the rip, locking themselves in to go to Kansas?
I'll tell you the one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on is James Silvers. Right before that Thanksgiving break, he went into that race at Bristol below the cut line, running that number 4, did his best Kevin Harvick walk-off impression, winning his way into the round of 8. I feel like he's going to carry that momentum. He might be the one to watch here this evening to try to lock his way into that Championship 4. Had a little bit of a slower start to the season than what I've been used to seeing out of him in some other series. Of course, his first season over here in Goat Locker. But one thing about it, just from personal experience racing against him, I know he's got a ton of speed, and he's going to be a force to deal with here in these last 3 races.
Yeah, absolutely. I look to Silvers, possibly those 3 guys up there at the top. I mean, you can't count out Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, and obviously Cody McElwain. But don't sleep on Patrick Dravic. We got to call Dravic. We got to call Barkas out because they pay Eddie. Eddie pays us, so we got to give them a little bit of love any way that they can. Not saying it in a bad way, but I mean they're here. I mean, they are in that round of 8, and nothing against them, or nothing against anybody in the field, but they made it here, and they are consistent. They are drivers to watch out for. No joke. Patrick Dravick, Jamie Barkis, watch out for them. And Jamie Lemke right there at the bottom. Watch out for Jamie. Could be a little bit of a sleeper here tonight at Michigan to lock themselves in to go to Kansas. Now, we're at Michigan. Obviously, there used to be two 2-mile racetracks, obviously Auto Club, which sad to see it go away. But, here, I mean, Michigan, I love this place. I love racing here. I just never have the luck here at this racetrack. For some damn reason or another, I always end up getting wrecked going into turn 3. Every freaking time we race at Michigan, I get wrecked going into turn 3. It's never 1, it's never 2, it's always going into turn 3. Something happens, somebody dive bombs me and wrecks the hell out of me. I don't know why that is, but Daniel, this place is a behemoth. It is a monster. It will be a force that these drivers are going to have to go through here this evening.
Yeah, it's definitely night and day different as far as Auto Club. It does look like it, but drives a lot different. Not as many big bumps as you would see at an Auto Club. Going to be a lot more of a drafting type of race, especially here in these next gens. And, Jake, even though you haven't had the best of luck here at Michigan, it could be worse. You could be like our producer, Lucas Lyons, who's gotten run down into the grass, coming to the checkered flag. I mean, just flat out drove into the infield, coming for the win. And he ended up losing because, it's Lucas. But, hey, just think about it that way. At least you got it out of the way early instead of the heartbreak coming to the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you one thing, though, folks. Nothing changes with us. We always take shots at our great producer, Lucas Lyons, any chance that we can. And there you see it up there at the top. Michigan with grid. And that means we are gridding up and we are ready to rock and roll here tonight. Jam Pregame Promotions, the Pole Award, given out to the fastest man each and every week. And since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very, very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. So thank you very much to Jam Printing and Promotions. And damn, well, all righty. Hey, y'all say what you want. We ain't kissing nobody's tail. They're both up there on the front row. J.B. Barkis getting the Jam Printing Promotions Pole Award. And Patrick Dravick starting on the outside. Might actually make myself look pretty good right here, Daniel, believe it or not. There you see Jacob Lemke starting in P3. There's your horse right there, James Silvers, rolling off in the P4 spot of the number 4. Dylan Canova, one of those drivers in the round of 8, and Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, making up the top 6 going into here tonight for the start. And you got Charles Abert and James Kaufman making up row number 4, and rounding out the top 10 tonight. Cody Anderson, one of those guys really to be watching out for tonight, and Timothy Williams, 2 drivers in the round 8.
Starting just outside the top 10, Cody McElwain, one of those favorites for the championship here as well. He'll be rolling off in 11th. Tyler Evans starting in that number 12 position here this evening. Rolling off in 13th, it's going to be the 5 of Alex Cruz. Jamie Lemke, you mentioned a little bit of a dark horse here for this round of 8. She's going to roll off in 14th here this evening. Starting at 15th is going to be Claire Sisk. Tyler Justice to her outside in 16th. Rolling off in 17th is going to be Bobby Germain. And you see 18th place there, Samuel Yosef. I believe that is our race controller here this evening. Not actually a participant in this race, but definitely want to give him a shout out for the sometimes thankless job, oftentimes thankless job of running race control here this evening.
Yeah, I mean, race control is always the one that all the drivers end up saying bad things to. They say bad words to them sometimes, especially when they do something that maybe they're not too happy with one way or another. It happens. I mean, every damn one of us that has raced on iRacing and there's been a race director, we have let them up one way or another just because they made a call the wrong way, anyway, shape, fashion, form, but it is what it is. Race details tonight, Daniel, is going to be a good one. out of all this. There you see 70 laps, pit road speed 55. They get 3 sets of tires, and then 2 green-white checkers. There's 100% fuel, and pretty much going to have to pretty much split it right down the middle like we've seen numerous times this season.
Yep, going to be a one-stop race at minimum. I think track position going to be a premium. Don't think you'll want to come down any sooner than you necessarily need to. Try to make as few stops as possible here in this race tonight.
Well, here we go. It's been a long, long break. Well, it's only been 1 week, but it has been long for some of us. We're ready to get back at it. Round 8 of the playoffs is underway for Goat Locker with the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. You have a virtual race, and here they go. Already saw a couple of them jumping from the bottom, jumping up to the top, trying to get a little run one way or another. Travick trying to get Chase Silvers up there as well. Here we go for the first time down the back chute, heading to turn 3.
Yeah, James Silvers gave a really nice push to Patrick Travick, got him out in front of the field ahead of his teammate Jamie Barkas. Silvers still trying to take away that number 2 position, but for now, Barkas with the momentum up top. A little bit further back behind them, though. That is where the battle for position really begins at. You can see they finally single file out, but that was Dylan Canova, Jeremy Gardner, and Jacob Lenke all running just about 3 wide there momentarily. See Jacob Lenke there in that 37 running a little Michigan Wolverine paint scheme here. I think we'll hold off on talking about that game they had this past weekend. But hey, when you're in Michigan, if that's who you're rooting for, you got to go with the paint scheme.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you would hate to see it with somebody if we was in Talladega, Alabama, and somebody running the Auburn paint scheme. Shout out to my good buddy Jonathan Cofield on that one. He did a little bit of racing here with Goat Locker there for a while, but he's a big Auburn fan. But anyway, Travick, Barkas trying to see if they can try to check out from the rest of the field. Remember, you win and you are in the next round. And Canova trying to work his way to the outside up back here, trying to make it happen. He goes up to 3rd, kicks Kaufman back to the 5th spot. Silvers actually shot around Silvers as well. Dylan Canova, one of those sleepers that we can pretty much be watching out for here tonight. He's trying to make a charge.
Yeah, Dylan Canova started putting together some good finishes at the exact perfect time of the season. Started building a little bit of momentum right as the regular season ended. Had a lot of speed in the first 2 races here in the playoffs. Trying to carry that through possibly to a championship 4 berth. As you can see, battle for position here. That's Silvers, Kaufman, and Gardner in this 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Jacob Lenke still attached right to the back of this battle. See another little group just behind them as well here. You've got Cody Anderson in the 20. That's Tyler Evans, Timothy Wilms, Jamie Lipke all running right under a blanket together. And one of the great things with this track is you do have a couple of different options you can try to run as far as lane choices through the turn. Heard a few different drivers talking about just the aero issues with this car. I've heard them using the term aero griefing is kind of the hot button word around here recently with these next gen cars, as you can almost see it there on exit. It looked like Jamie Barkas. I don't think he got into the wall, but man, he got close to it on the exit at 2.
Yeah, and it's going to end up not working out in his favor, as you see now. Canova down to the inside, Barkas up top. 25 of Kaufman right behind him. He got around James Silvers. Silvers trying to latch on, make something happen. But Barkas able to get that run on the outside and hold off Canova. Front 4 may try to figure out a way to maybe get a little gap from the rest of the field from Silvers. But here we go, Canova down. Oh, baby, side drafted. Almost door banging. Almost contact coming off turn number 2. Canova saw what happened with Barkas through that turn through 3 and 4 just a lap ago. Decided to take it up to the top side, see if he could try to make it stick, but now Barkas going to fight hard on the inside.
Yeah, and Canova doing exactly what you have to do to try to make these passes stick in this next-gen car. He's going to go for the lead here on Patrick Travick. Huge run through turns 3 and 4. We're gonna have to call that the Jake Reeves corner over there in 3 and 4. Big run for the 70 of Canova, and he is looking to the outside trying to take control of this race.
Yeah, damn sure wouldn't be Lucas Lyons' corner over there in turn 4. But yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, the door banging corner might be the better one. Check this out. Driver's trying to slide through here. There is Jake Reeves' corner right here going through turn 3, which is where I always end up having problems. Always end up getting wrecked by some of you out there. You watching the broadcast, you watch Michigan, you know who you are. If you have wrecked me, I'll just go ahead and just leave it at that. But Canova taking it all the way to the front. Dravic trying to latch on, and here comes Kaufman down to the outside trying to make something happen. Oh, baby, Silver's down to the inside. Silver's trying to make a run as well. Good, clean, hard racing here the first 8 laps here at Michigan, and a couple of them still wanting to smack that wall off turn 2. They've got very, very close. You couldn't fit a piece of paper between the car and the wall, but at the same time, they're able to make it through there. Silver's trying to work on Kaufman.
Yeah, and it almost looked like more of a Talladega type of back there for just a moment with so much 2x2 going back through the field. One driver I want to give a shout out to real quick. He called it with the dark horse of the playoffs. Jamie Lipke up to the 7th position now. Just got around Jeremy Gardner. Biggest mover of the race so far. Started back in 14th, up 7 spots early on here as we get close to lap number 10. But that 16 car definitely got some speed and on the charge early here.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie is rolling through the field. Rolling up there on that top side lane. Daniel, you mentioned it. Pretty much go wherever you want to go. Here, there, whatever. Jacob Linke really losing all the spots. Lost 7. Jamie up 7. But mentioned it again, with all the different lanes that you can run, where is the best lane to run? Because every time I've ran here down on the yellow line, it's Jamie trying to hold on. Oh, Lord, Jamie, let you hold on to it.
Caution is out. She's able to keep it off the wall. What a save out of the 16. And you know what, Lucas? Don't even think about putting that damn broadcaster curse graphic up here. Don't even think about it. I know you were just talking about it earlier. Don't even think about it. We're going to have to go back and check the V-Speed instant replay to take a look at this one. And that may look like you've got all the room in the world when you look from above, but I can tell you one thing: in these next gen cars, with the lack of side force that they have and the lack of feeling that they have when they start to get out of shape, that is an impressive save. Let's take a look on board here with the 16 and see exactly what this looked like from her point of view. Looked like maybe just a little bit of that aero grease that we talked about. Got a little bit of the dirty air in front, a little air pack from the 20 behind, and just working that wheel back and forth to hang on to it. That was really an impressive save there.
Yeah, Jamie was actually aiming right for the wall you saw right there, but did not make contact. Was able to lock it down just good enough to try to make it happen. Now, Daniel, are we pitting here? Because, they got 3 sets of tires. I wouldn't think we're pitting this early. You may go in for fuel, but I wouldn't think you would pit, at least for the tires.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if the leaders will come down. Well, it looks like they're thinking about it at least. So maybe Kaufman's going to stay out. He's going to be the first one to stay out, and there's not going to be a whole lot of folks staying out with him. It looked like just Kaufman, and I believe that was Tyler Evans a little bit further back, were the only 2 that actually stayed out here. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense with where you're at here. You're not going to be able to make it to the end, but the last thing you want to have to do is try to come down pit road under green if you can avoid it. So this at least just gives you the option to run it a little bit longer, maybe see if you can catch a caution. Looks like there may be a few drivers taking fuel only here. Looks like Cody Anderson with a short stop, Bobby Germain with a short stop as well. Maybe just 2 tires for Cody Anderson. Everybody else other than that looks like they did indeed take 4 here for the most part.
Caution is out here at Michigan. Kaufman staying out. Lemke spotted coming off of turn 2. We're taking a break. Be right back here at Michigan with the Cruisin' Classics Next Gen Series presented by Goat Locker live on V-Speed. And we're back here with the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, presented by Goat Locker. Redneck Announcer Jake Reeves, Daniel Cunningham, Double L Lucas Lyons on production here this evening. And you saw Cruisin Classics a second ago. Why not? Let's go ahead and read an ad for Cruisin Classics, which is obviously located in Columbus, Ohio. Cruisin Classics has a BEA beautiful 56,000 square foot showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. There is something for everybody out of their hand-picked selection of muscle cars and hot rods. Come on down to visit the facility today and check out their website at cruisinclassicsinc.com. Daniel, I tell you, buddy, it hurts my heart every time we see that commercial. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing those cars. But damn it, it hurts because I know I could never afford one.
Especially not with that little one you got now. That you can't go spending their college fund on a car like that. So, well, our producer Lucas Lyons is saying yes, you can. But you know what? I had something else for that for Lucas. But I'm going to refrain because we are on a podcasted event right now. But that being said, pace car is off. Field in control of the 25 at James Kaufman, staying out onto this most recent caution. Green flag back in the air. See if everybody can keep the tires underneath of them here. A couple folks on those older tires. So far, so good. Everybody back up to speed. And Patrick Dravick in that 07 is going to try to charge his way back up to the front early on here.
Yeah, Patrick Dravick, one of those drivers, just like Jamie Barkis on the Freshies, trying to make something happen. Kaufman trying to get away. Anderson trying to hold on to second. But I'm telling you, watch out for that 70 right there, or the 07, excuse me. Patrick Dravick trying to work his way up through the field. Kaufman still holding on to the lead for this moment. Anderson second, Evans, Canova, Dravick, the top 5 off turn 4.
Yeah, and you may have called it right as well with the 70 of Canova. He has actually gotten around Patrick Dravick here early on. He's the first driver now on those 4 fresh tires. Directly behind him is Dravick. Silver's the next car in line after that. And as they run right now, though, James Kaufman doing a nice job holding on to that lead, that number 1 position, the clean air. You know, kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, that clean air might be king, might be the most important factor. Let's take a look a little bit further back here. That is Jamie Barkis, Jacob Lincke, and Bobby Germain, 3 wide over there through turns 3 and 4. Bobby Germain up on the top, just basically trying to stay out of the way on those older tires right now. Everybody able to get through there. But Jamie Barkis definitely a little bit behind on track position now after that round of pit stops.
Yeah, Jamie going to try to figure something out. Maybe slide up through here. I got to give some love, though, one way or another, to the Michigan Wolverines colors back there. I mean, they're trying. And Daniel, hell, if you ran an Oregon car a week after they got the tail whooped, wouldn't you feel a little bit off? Not by much, but you would feel a little bit off. But, Jacob Lincke trying to make something happen right here, but I would feel bad. I mean, I would feel bad if Alabama got their ass kicked. I don't know if I would want to run an Alabama car, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it might be a little bit tough, but then again, every time I ran an Oregon paint scheme, it always seemed like I ended up upside down or in a wall or something. So, kind of like our playoff chances every year, it all just goes upside down. So, it seemed to be a little bit of a theme there, but yeah, shout out to him. And it is a good looking paint scheme, even though it is Michigan. I don't really have a dog in that fight between them and Ohio State. I'm just there for the show, but yeah, it is a good looking scheme though. Shout out to him, having a solid run there, been up in the top 10 the entirety of this race, spent a lot of time up in the top 5 there on that first green flag run as well. So giving the Michigan colors a good run here at the home racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jamie Lincke up in the 7th spot. Also, Cody Anderson up here leading now. He got around James Kaufman. Canova got around Kaufman as well. And there you see the battle going on. Canova trying to work this top side, may get a run. Yes, he will get a run. But will he be able to get to the door of the 20? Cody Anderson, not yet. But damn it, he is trying. And I'll tell you this much. Canova gets to the door of Anderson. Anderson is in trouble. Because like you mentioned it just a second ago, Daniel, when he gets to his door on the freshies, he's got it. He's got it right where he wants him. So Canova putting some pressure right now on him, and they're getting away from Kaufman, and Kaufman staying with him a little bit. They're trying to get away from Evans and Patrick Drabick and James Barkis. They're trying to get away from all these guys.
Yeah, Drabick and Barkis back there right behind the 77 of Tyler Evans. Currently, we'll say he's tied for biggest mover of the race now, up 8 positions, as is Cody Anderson, the race leader at this time. Both of them up 8 spots from where they started at. But it just seems like a couple of these guys gotten back in the dirty air. I feel like that would be Drabick and Barkis really affected by it the most right now. And yeah, talking about Cody Anderson out there as the race leader, looked like he did take 2 tires on that pit stop just with how long he was in the box. I feel like as long as he's got that clean air, he's good to go. But like you said, if Dylan Canova can get alongside him, start to put a little bit of that side draft on him, and then take that clean air away from the 20 of Cody Anderson, going to be a tall order for Anderson to be able to hang with him. And I think Cody knows right now he's got to protect that upper lane. If he lets Canova get to the high side, that's pretty much going to be game over. You can see this, the way that he's entering the turns, he's definitely taking that into consideration and playing a little bit of defense here.
Yeah, absolutely, and doing a fantastic job of it, to be honest with you. He's able to use that to his advantage, try to hold off Canova. Canova using this outside, which, Daniel, you know as well as I do, that outside lane, if you pump it enough up there on that outside lane, you are going to burn the goodies off of those tires. Now, remember, they got 3 sets of tires. They've already burned a set. So they still got 2 sets laying in the pits, which could play off for them and could work out for them later on should they need them, because everybody's still got to make a pit stop. Remember, they can go about halfway and then go ahead and kick it into the pits. So everybody's still got to make that extra pit stop. But running up there, up against the wall, up on the high side tickler line that Canova's running, he's got to be careful not to burn the goodies off of those wheels.
Yeah, definitely something that you want to keep in mind is not burning those tires up. But right now, Canova's main goal is get up there in control of this race yet again, get that clean air. He's finally got himself right where he wants to be on the outside of the 20 of Cody Anderson. Going to try to carry that momentum off of turn number 2. Not quite cleared all the way yet. Cody Anderson able to utilize that side draft down the back straightaway, able to pull the 70 of Canova back just a little bit. But Canova still going to have that upper lane, still going to have the momentum. See if he can complete the pass here down the front straightaway. He's definitely going to lead this lap, but Cody Anderson doing a better job than honestly I anticipated with being able to hang in there on that bottom lane.
Yeah, Anderson not wanting to give this up. And James Kaufman, remember, Kaufman was the driver that stayed out. Everybody else went down pit road. Kaufman stays out. Now Canova able to get clear of Anderson, and Anderson might be in a heap of trouble now. He's going to have to dig down in his bag of tricks if he wants to find a way around Canova. And remember, Canova, get him a win. If he wins here tonight, he will lock himself in to the championship race in 2 weeks at Kansas. But Anderson wanting to think a little different. Remember, he was in the playoffs. He was in the round of 12, got knocked out 2 weeks ago. The week before Thanksgiving, got knocked out and was not able to make it into the round of 8. So Anderson's got a little bit to prove right here as well. Both of these drivers got a lot to prove.
Yeah, and Cody Anderson trying to play spoiler here a little bit further back behind this battle from 4th on back. It is an absolute hornet's nest. These guys have been going 2 wide, 3 wide. Saw a little bit of contact between the 15 of Jamie Barkis, and I think that was Jacob Lenke earlier. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Tyler Evans, I believe, that they got together. James Silver's trying to get up there and get to the front of this pack, but these drivers are all over one another, and you can see with the way that they're side drafting each other, you can see it there between Silvers and Drabick. It just let the rest of them get right up on him as Lenke gets into Drabick. That was a big save out of the boss man, 0-7 there. Able to hang on to it, loses a ton of track position, but able to hang on to it. Let's go back and take a quick look at that here if we can. That was, a huge save there right in the middle of the turn. And really a great job of everybody else behind him as well, getting checked up there and avoiding him. He didn't get run over from behind there in that whole deal either. Let's take a look on board here. We talked about that side draft. You can see how it pulled him back. Lemke gets a huge run into the turn, just gets into the back of Pat. And man, look at the way he's working that wheel back and forth to hang on to.
Yeah, he was able to hold on to it the best he could. And remember, might have burned the goodies off of those tires as well. So got to be careful with that. I mean, ironically enough, one of those drivers that took 4 tires as well. So Patrick Draper got to watch himself. And now he has dropped all the way back to the 13th spot. All the way back 4 seconds back from the battle. Actually, he's getting in a little bit of a battle right there with Tyler Evans back there in the back. We saw there for just a split second. Obviously, Charles Abert right there behind them as well. So not a good night for some of our playoff drivers. Cody McElwain being one of them back there in the 15th spot as well. And there's Jamie Lemke right there in front of Patrick Drabick. So a couple of these guys that is in the playoffs not having the night that they wanted. I think Thanksgiving might have screwed them up because some of them was probably on, they were hauling the mail. I mean, they had the momentum. They were going. They didn't have anything to worry about. And then we get a break. I mean, Daniel, what's that like to have that momentum and then you got a week-long break and then you come back for racing? How hard is it just to keep the momentum going?
It seems really different from driver to driver. It seems like there's a lot of folks that can just jump back into it, pick up exactly where they left off. That's what we're seeing out of somebody like Dylan Canova here this evening. Even James Silver's there running in 4th, picking up right where he left off, up there with a lot of speed near the front. But I know myself personally, it always seemed like it was a lot more difficult to kind of get back into the swing of things after having that off week. I'd usually try to find some racing to do. Maybe it's officials, maybe it's just jumping in some random hosted races or something just to still have the seat time. But depending on if you like your family, it might be a good excuse to get away from them to jump on there instead of going to Thanksgiving dinner. But if you actually like your family and want to spend time with them, you might not necessarily have that option to get a whole lot of racing in on Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is a good possibility. You see right here, James Silvers, that man that you were talking about. James Silvers, remember, pulled the closure or the closure finish, the closure drive at Bristol 2 weeks ago to get himself into the round of 8, and certainly is showing why he should be in the round of 8. Up here sitting in P3, he may have a little something to say about this, a little something trying to go up against Dylan Canova. About 40 laps to go still in this race, but Silver's trying to flex a little bit of muscle, maybe try to run down Dylan Canova for the lead.
Yeah, still quite a ways to go here. Not quite to the halfway mark yet. But the one thing that James Silvers will have going for him if and when he gets up there is his teammate, Cody Anderson. Yeah, we haven't really talked about that team aspect a whole lot yet. But, Cody Anderson could help James Silvers out a couple different ways. He could get up there, win the race, keep somebody from locking in on that win, keep another spot open to possibly make it on points, or he could help push his teammate to a win too and help Silvers get into that championship 4. But right back behind Silvers, Jamie Barkas, he is making his way back up to the front now. I think we're starting to see those 4 fresh tires pay a little bit more dividends the longer that we get into this green flag run. And Cody Anderson still doing a nice job hanging there in 2nd place on the 2 tires. We're starting to see Kaufman slip back just a little bit, and he did stay out on that last caution.
He's definitely tried. He's doing all that he can. Barkas able to get around Kaufman. There's Big Daddy G. Jeremy Gardner. Hadn't talked a whole lot about Gardner coming into the night in the 57. And everybody out there knows I love the number 57. Ran it for numerous occasions in league races, official races, all that good stuff. But, Jeremy really is in one of those situations to where he just needs to have a good night. Just come out here, get him a top 10, get him a top 5 if that helps you out any way, shape, fashion, form. He may be able to point his way all the way to Kansas. That's just a possibility. Unless something crazy happens, Gardner may be able to point his way in there.
Yeah, he very well could. But one thing about it with next week being Phoenix, those restarts can get a little bit wild there. So you'd rather just go ahead and win your way in, not have to worry about it. Which, speaking of, this battle for the win and battle for the lead is starting to heat up at the front of this field. You can see there Canova, Anderson, and Silvers pretty much nose to tail right down the front straightaway. Anderson going to look to the inside. Teammate James Silvers going to take a look to the inside with him. Would have to think if he gets the opportunity, gets the run, that Silvers would try to push him around and let them fight it out amongst themselves for that race lead. But as they battle, it is allowing Gardner and Barkis to close in on this as well. Here in just another lap or two, we may very well have the top 5 nose to tail for the lead.
Very good possibility here tonight at Michigan. Certainly a blast right here, and there is no telling what is fixing to happen when all of this gets said and done. Baby, they are absolutely ripping it right here around the 2 Mile Speedway. Let's talk about one of our great sponsors here with Goat Locker Racing, and that is Lincoln Tech. You see them down there at the bottom right. We'll flip up a logo for you here in a second. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to their students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. And obviously, they are the title sponsor of the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series that runs on Tuesday nights here live on V-Speed. So thank you very much to Lincoln Tech for everything that they do. Put your potential to work. It sounds like one hell of a slogan right there for such a great business, Daniel.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate all the support that they give us over here at Goat Locker. Title sponsor of that IndyCar series that we got to call, that I got to call last night. It's been some good racing over there. Heading to Laguna Seca next week, actually, in that series, so that'll be a good one. But here at Michigan tonight, you can see that battle for the lead still going. Cody Anderson, I really thought he was going to be out of it after losing the lead with the 2 tires, but he has done a really nice job hanging in there, putting the pressure back on Dylan Canova for the race lead. You can see Jamie Barkis, Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner, they have closed in on this battle as well. A little connection issue there for the 4 of James Silvers. Got it straightened out pretty quick, though, so no harm, no foul there. But you can see Gardner closed right up there. He was looking to the inside of Barkis back behind. And Cody Anderson trying to go the hard way around here and make this pass on the inside. Not sure if he's just going to be able to keep up the momentum quite enough to pull it off, though.
Yeah, he has tried his damnedest to try to make it work one way or another. I'm telling you, he is trying every little bit that he can. Silver's trying to latch right onto it. May take a shot down to the inside, try to find a way around Cody Anderson. Silver's there, not able to make it work. But Anderson getting the help. There's that teammate aspect that you were talking about a second ago, Daniel. Anderson going for the lead. Silver's working with him. But Canova with the freshies up on the top side, trying to make it happen right here one way or another. Will he be able to make it work? No. Anderson gets almost clear, but now Canova fights hard on the outside. Pull a little side draft, try to pull that number 20 back.
Yeah, and really nice job there by Dylan Canova fighting back, using that side draft, able to keep that position up there on the top. I really thought that Anderson had it. I thought that he had it cleared. He had the momentum, but just didn't quite have the help down the back straightaway that he needed. But you can see here, pit stops are starting. Jamie Barkis, the first of our leaders to make his way down, along with Timothy Wilms, Bobby Germain, Patrick Drabick, and Alex Cruz. They are all on pit road. Not surprised to see Drabick as one of the first ones down after that incident that he had earlier. Probably tires just not happy with him after that and still struggling for grip. But this battle for the lead still side by side. You can see Silver's trying to keep himself offset of these two in the turn so that he can keep some fresh air on the front of the car. But Cody Anderson able to finally complete that pass after multiple laps of trying. He is back ahead of Dylan Canova for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Anderson able to slide up there. Silvers, now Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner sliding up here trying to make it a 4-horse race. Obviously, they've got to make a pit stop as well. And boy, I'm telling you, I mean, pretty good little interesting thing right here. I mean, check this out. 3 drivers, Canova, Silvers, and Gardner. All 3 of them are in the playoffs. All 3 of them need a win to lock themselves in 2 weeks when we go to Kansas. The one driver that's leading it ain't in the damn playoffs, and it's Cody Anderson. and I mean, think about it. If he would have been able to make it into the round of 8, what this would be for Anderson. And, I'll say this. Anderson's not going to give it up. Now, would he maybe help James Silvers if Silvers is able to get around Canova for the 2nd spot? Would Anderson maybe try to help him out one way or another? Possibly, but Daniel, we've seen that on the NASCAR side with teammates trying to help other teammates, and same manufacturers trying to help them out as we see Jeremy Gardner going in. But wouldn't that be a little bit iffy if Canova was just kind of pulled over and let Silvers go? I mean, do you think the officials might say something about that?
I mean, there's nothing in the rule book that says you can't do it. And it's one of those things, like, I've been in that position before where you're not in the playoffs. You have teammates that are, you still want to go out and win, but you also want to try to help them out. And, there's ways that you can do it aside from just moving over for someone. Maybe you don't side draft quite as hard. You leave an extra half a lane or so when you know that they got to run on you. So there's definitely things that you can do where maybe you just cut them a little bit of a break and just don't race them quite as hard as you would race some others. But taking a look at our pit stops over there, you see Canova on pit road. Jeremy Gardner has come down pit road. Gardner with a little bit of a shorter stop, so not sure if I don't believe he took 4 tires. It looks like a 2-tire stop out of Jeremy Gardner, just 10 seconds in his pit box. And I believe, that would be about a 2-tire stop. So interesting bit of a strategy call here. Looks like maybe he saw how well that's been working for Cody Anderson up there, able to keep that track position, and thought, hey, maybe that's my ticket to try to win this race.
Very good possibility is exactly what he is thinking right there. Silvers, Anderson, they're still out there. Gardner, obviously, like you mentioned, sitting in that prime spot right there when they pit, or just how everything will work out, because there's no telling how any of this is going to work out. I've already learned that, Daniel. You come to one of these iRacing events, it does not make a damn what's going to happen. Is there you see drivers, what is that? Looks like James Kaufman right there pulling down. There's Bobby Germain in the 42. I mean, you cannot just, look, me and you, we've called races before. We've called it this way, we've called it that way, we've called all kinds of races. You cannot sit here and physically say, yeah, I know damn well this is going to happen. Because you don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen every time we pull out here and we get ready to call a race. Because, go locker, you name it. There's no telling. We're just fans along for the ride, just sitting here watching.
Well, one thing that I'm really going to be curious to see here, Jeremy Gardner utilizing that 2-tire stop. He was the only one that did it. He's the only one that took the 2 tires. He is almost 5 seconds clear of the field at this point. And, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. If these guys, saw a little bit of door banging there between Barkas and Silvers. But if these guys keep racing each other like this, slowing each other down, it may play right into the hands of the 57 of Jeremy Gardner. He's definitely got the track position. He's got the lead out there right now. And these guys are not helping their case at all. I feel like if they could get single filed out, maybe they could put some laps down to try to get up there to him. But right now, it's going to be a tall order to chase down that 57 car.
Right now, they're running 2/10 faster, just like you said. With just how it is. There you see right there the lap times of how they're running. Fastest one, Cody Anderson, 38.2. Gardner, 38.768. So there you go. There's that option right there. That's the last lap times, everybody's last lap times. But goddamn, boy, they are so close to getting on with that, or literally getting it on. if you want to call it that, they're door banging, very close to door banging with Canova and Barkis. And Silver's trying to jump down to the inside, wanting to have a little say-so in that as well. And Anderson right there behind him as well. So is there a possibility that they can run down Jeremy Gardner with the strategy that he pulled?
There is a possibility, but at 0.2 of a second per lap, it would put them on his back bumper about 1 lap to go, 1 to 2 laps to go. Now, granted, once they get a little bit closer, maybe start pulling a little bit of draft off of that 57, they may close in just a little bit more. And that's also assuming that the tires don't equalize at some point. I mean, so right now, this is going to be the biggest advantage that this group of cars have. I think their best bet, though, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be try to stay in line and run him down. The more that they side draft each other, the more they race side by side, all they're doing is helping out the 57. They're just basically, I don't want to say they're handing the race to him by any stretch, but they're playing into his favor by doing that. If they can keep themselves single file, keep a little bit more speed, they may have a better shot of chasing him down. But the biggest issue is these aren't teammates. I mean, the 20 and the 4 are both teammates, but Canova and Barkis, they're on their own agenda right now. So it's easy for me to sit up here in the booth and say this is what they need to do, but you got 4 drivers for 3 different teams, and they've all got to try to run their own race as well.
Doing a pretty good job of it, but I mean, honestly, I think they need a caution. Something's got to happen right here if they want to have any shot try to run down Jeremy Gardner. No caution, they're screwed. Gardner's going to end up walking away with this and go all the way to Kansas. We know how good Jeremy Gardner is at Kansas, so that's going to be pretty much the end of it out of that. But they got to get a little lucky right here. Either that or just race and just try to get as many points as you can, because you don't have to win to get in to Kansas. You just got to have enough points to make it. You just got to have the most points out of the 8. You just got to be able to be in that top 4. That is your plan, all along. So I do want to give a quick shout out. Sorry, might be a bad deal to do it, but Jacob Lenke, Michigan car, yeah. Sounds like an Ohio State deal. But anyway, I might get into some trouble out of that one, Daniel. I probably shouldn't even went there. But yeah, I mean, that's the main goal. If you can't win, at least get into that top 4 in the points.
Yeah, the thing is, you're guaranteed that there's going to be at least 2 positions in that championship 4 solely on points, with this just being a 2-race round. So you can try to do whatever you need to do to just point your way into it. And that might be what some of these drivers are thinking about at this point. But a little bit further back, battle for 6th starting to heat up here. Timothy Wilms, you got Cody McElwain working his way up. Been a really just kind of uncharacteristic night for the 6 car. One of those drivers that's won a lot of races this season, just been accustomed to seeing him up there at the front of the field. And, at the risk of putting on another broadcaster curse, because she might be a little pissed if I do that. Jamie Lipke there with a nice recovery after that spin that we saw earlier, back up into the 8th position. So again, showing a lot of speed in that 16 car, and good Lord, I hope that doesn't jinx her again here.
Hope not, to be honest with you, because Jamie Lipke, one of those drivers that could easily find themselves at Kansas when it's all said and done. Everything works out right. They should be in good shape to be able to slide right in there. So see how this ends up working out there. You see drivers like Tyler Justice trying to slide up here and make his presence known. Bobby Germain right there, as well as James Kaufman. These guys right around the top 10 area, sitting 9th, 10th, and 11th, trying to slide up here and make something happen one way or another. Bobby Germain has not give up on that outside. That 42, I'm telling you, every single time I've watched him, he has been pinned up against that damn wall and trying to use it and try to help Tyler Justice bump drafted him going into the corner. I'll tell you this much, if you can't just get the run and go around them, hell, drive right through them. Do what you got to do to try to get around them.
just rattle their cage a little bit if you need to. I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but right in front of that battle, it looked like Cody McElwain actually got into the wall pretty good off of turn number 2 that last time around. Jamie Libke was able to take advantage and jump up to that number 7 position. So again, tough night for the driver of the 6, just not what we're used to seeing here. Tyler Justice starting to put a little bit of pressure on for that number 8 position. Tyler Justice, and you talked about Bobby Germain right there behind, currently tied for the most positions gained from where they started. Both of those drivers up 7 spots, and actually Jamie Libke up 7 spots now as well after that pass on Cody McElwain. So those 3 drivers, we've talked about track position, talked about sometimes it can be a little tough to pass here. But those 3 drivers showing that they can make some passes out there on track this evening. Back up front, though, Dylan Canova has put a little bit of a gap over this battle for 3rd, but Barkis and Silvers are pretty much glued to each other right now. Cody Anderson hanging on to the back of this battle here as well. You can see Silvers trying to use that bottom lane, trying to scoot away just a little bit, but these drivers still all over one another, and their lap times have pretty well equalized to Jeremy Gardner at this point. I mean, one lap, Gardner may be about a tenth slower. The next lap, he's back to about the same speed as them. So, we talked about what kind of pace do they need to have. Are they going to be able to catch Gardner? I'm with you now, Jake. I feel like unless there's a caution or unless those tires just absolutely give up on the 57, I kind of feel like this is Jeremy Gardner's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I believe that is exactly what you're looking like here at this point. And I mean, I'm telling you, they're going to need it, but I mean, at the same time, they're going to race it out as best they can, at least for what they got. Coming around this time around will be 11 laps to go. And Silver's got got it down, 3.6, 3.7 now. It's going to start to grow a little bit. It doesn't help that they're racing each other for it, but I mean, at this point, you're probably not going to catch Jeremy Gardner. Barring something catastrophic, something crazy happening, you're not going to catch him. So, it's like I said, you got to get every little bit that you can because, Daniel, I'm sure you've seen it in other leagues. I'm sure, Lucas has seen it. Everybody's seen it. 1 point can decide whether or not you make it into a championship race or make it to the next round or whatever. This is how tight this field is with these drivers. You got to get every inch that you can.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've been on the positive side of that before. I've made it into a championship 4 by just 1 point previously. So, I mean, you're right. You think, well, okay, just go out here, ride around, try to do what I can to maybe see if we can put some laps together. But at this point, like you said, if you're in this little group here, this 2nd through 5th place, you pretty well know that you're not going to get up there and catch Gardner. You're not going to get him unless there's a caution. So at this point, you basically just got to go all out, try to maximize whatever you can out of this race. And even if there is a caution at this point, maybe you get lucky, get that number 2 position coming into the pits. Would have to think that everybody would come down and at least take 2 tires if there is a late caution. But it at least gives you more options to further up the pack that you are. But one driver that's not ready to give up on it just yet is that 4 of Silvers. Since he's gotten clear of this group, he's been running about 0.2 a lap faster, but just, again, I think it's going to be too little too late. He needed to get clear of this group just a few laps sooner to give himself a better opportunity.
Yeah, he is trying his damnedest, like I said. Just trying every little bit that he can. Just get what he can get and just try to, manage at this point. And Silvers, he's got it down to 2.9. Gets it about 3, back to 3. So he's moving. He's just going to run out of time. It's like you said. Honestly, I think he's just going to run out of time out of all this. You see Cody Anderson back there trying to go after Jamie Barkis. Try to go after, him for that 4th spot. Anderson now down to the inside. Barkis up top. Here comes Anderson. But now Barkis able to get the run on the outside. So it seems like that inside lane is not where you want to be. You want to be up there on that top side if you want to try to get any type of run to make it happen any way, shape, fashion for him. It's where you see Cody Anderson. He's able to close into Barkus. Barkus was on the bottom. Anderson's starting to close that run up. It's just one of those things here at Michigan. And it's not only with the next gens. It's the Xfinity. It's the trucks. Hell, it could be the Mazda Miatas for all we know. I've never tried it. Always wanted to, but I've never tried it. I've seen it. Like I said, never tried it. So it just seems like that outside lane's the place to be.
Hey, I'm just going to go ahead and say this as a quick side note. If you ever get the chance to run the Miatas here at night, since there's no lights at this place, that is fun. I've done that once before, and it is a blast. But
how'd you finish?
I don't think I did. But that's probably not a surprise. But yeah, anyway, just throwing that out there if you ever get the opportunity. But back here, this battle for 6th on back, this has been building for quite a few laps. Tyler Justice, huge run, almost into the back of the 16 of Jamie Lipke. Lipke able to hang on to it in that number 6 position, putting herself in a good spot to try to point her way into that finale at Kansas. Tyler Justice, he's been making some moves up through this pack here the last few laps, got himself up there now in contention for a good finish, and he is the biggest mover of the race to this point, up 9 spots from where he started.
Yeah, Tyler Justice doing a fantastic job. There you see it, started 16th all the way up to 7th, as you mentioned, up 9 spots. You were able to get the numbers better than I can. You probably done way better in math in high school than I did. But there you see Jamie sitting in 6th. Timothy Wilms, another driver that's in the playoffs, sitting right behind Justice in 8th. And I'm sure Wilms would love for Justice to just get the hell out of the way, try to make something happen. You see Jamie down to the inside, back up to the top. We've seen that numerous times. Drivers jump down in the settle where Grandpappy has the moonshine from Granny on the straightaways and then jump back up. Daniel, what they're doing, and everybody at home, they're breaking that draft. That way Justice can't latch right back up. You see Jamie doing it again. Not able to use the draft and suck right back up to him. He'll just drive it there and knock him out of the way at this point. Justice didn't need the draft. Just sent it in there, was able to make it stick, but Lipke up top gets the run. So, but, I mean, that's how there is. That's how it works out. Is now Cody McElwain going after Timothy Wilms.
Yeah, and you're right. They're just trying to break the draft just a little bit. This next-gen car does not have it doesn't have enough power. It needs more horsepower, but that's a soapbox debate that I'm going to get on when I'm not on the clock for V-Speed. But yeah, the cars just don't have quite the power that they need, so you get these massive draft runs down the back straightaway, kind of like what you would get at a Daytona or Talladega. So you see these drivers kind of snaking around a little bit. They're just trying to break that up to prevent that run coming from behind. And you can really kind of see it here with Bobby Germain closing in on Wilms and Cody McElwain there in front of him, especially when you get 2 drivers side by side right in front of you. It just punches such a huge hole in the air. It's almost some contact there between Lipke and Justice. That's going to let everybody else close right up in on this battle as well. But just 2 laps to go here at Michigan. Nothing's changed up front. We'll keep an eye on this battle right now. Jeremy Gardner still over a 2.5 second lead. This is where the hornet's nest is right now.
Yeah, this is right here is where you would probably see a caution if something was to happen one way or another. Oh my gosh, Wilms down to the inside, trying to block the air, trying to block the draft, anything that they can do. Try to keep everybody behind them, and now he's going to get split 3 wide. White flag is in the air. Gardner has took the white flag going into 1. We'll stay with these guys as long as we can because they ain't no telling how the hell this is going to end up working out. Lipke able to get around all of them. McElwain almost gets hooked into the fence. Whoo, baby, this is what we love right here. Boy, these guys right here, hard racing back here, but Jeremy Gardner going through turn number 3. Looks like that's going to be a hell of a battle. We'll have to check it out when it's all said and done. Wow, Jeremy Gardner, though, will lock himself into Kansas in 2 weeks. Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner gets the win here tonight at Michigan. This is the, wow, look at this. McElwain jumped down, put the block on Wilms. Lipke up top. Woo! Baby, that's why we love Michigan right there. I swear, if they ever do Michigan like they done Auto Club, it will be a damn shame. It will be a travesty. It will be, it'll be a riot. It'll be a riot up north in Michigan if they ever do this place like they did Auto Club. Big Daddy G, though, he gets to win.
Yeah, really impressive run out of Jeremy Gardner. Utilizes the strategy call with the 2 tires under green. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters, doesn't matter how you get there, it just matters that you do. He is the winner here at Michigan. And like you said, he is going to be racing for a championship in 2 weeks at Kansas.
And well done for him, and rightfully deserved for Big Daddy G. Jeremy Gardner in the 57. Going to burn it down right here on the start-finish line. Daniel, you got to look at this right here with this race, how Gardner is able to make moves and how he's able to put himself in situations to where it can work out for him. You got to look at Gardner as the favorite when we go to Kansas.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough order for anybody to be able to best him at Kansas. Seems like he's always got a lot of speed there. And now you're giving him an extra week that if he wants to get in there, run some practice, start focusing on it a little bit early, he's going to have that opportunity.
There will be somebody out there that will pay somebody some money in 2 weeks to dump him. One way or another, somehow, somewhere. Check it out, he's blowing the damn engine. Black smoke puffing out of the engine. Jeremy Gardner gets the win here tonight at Michigan. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We only took one this whole time, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to round up those podium finishers, get you your race results, right up the podium finishers, and get you a little bit ready, get you ready for next week from Phoenix. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Shoemaker. to Josh Adams.
We're back here live on V-Speed. Cruisin Classic Next Gen Series race in the books, and Jeremy Gardner has locked himself into 2 weeks at Kansas to race for a championship here in Season 8. We have 1 caution and 8 lead changes. Pretty relatively clean and quick race here this evening. Jeremy Gardner started 6th. He gets the win. James Silvers ends up finishing in 2nd. Dylan Canova will get 3rd. Jamie Barkus 4th. Cody Anderson will round out the top 5. Mind you, 2nd through 5th, all of them are battling, coming down to the line. Even with 6th all the way to 10th, Jamie Lemke, remember, also one of those drivers in the round of 8, was able to best everybody and get 6th. That is maximized points for Jamie over Cody McElwain and Timothy Wilms, who finished 7th and 8th. Then Bobby Jermaine finishes 9th, and Tyler Justice rounds out the top 10.
In 11th this evening, James Kaufman spent some time up near the front after that strategy call early on, but not quite the finish he was looking for. In 11th this evening, Alex Cruz comes home in the 12th position. Tyler Evans in 13th. The boss man, Patrick Drabick, not able to recover after that big slide that he had earlier on in the race. He comes home in 14th here this evening. Charles Abert comes home in 15th. Claire Sisk in 16th. Jacob Linke rounds out the field in 17th. And then again, just want to give a shout out to Samuel Yosef running the race control this evening, keeping an eye on things up there in the booth.
Well, folks, we have ran down the grid. Let's talk to some podium finishers. And he's actually got a new nickname. I can't figure this one out. We went from Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, to Jeremy Meatball Gardner. I'm not even going to ask. I'm going to assume he probably gets a hell of a lot of meatballs on the racetrack anyway. But Jeremy, buddy, you get the win here tonight. You lock yourself into Kansas in 2 weeks. I mean, talk us through that strategy, that whole deal, taking them 2 tires and sending that sucker back out there, which ultimately got you the win.
Did you just assume I get a bunch of meatballs?
I mean, Jeremy Meatball Gardner. I mean, what would be the other reason?
Oh, hell, I get harassed in here daily because I give it, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, dude, I literally told the guys from the get-go, I was like, lap 44, lap 45, that's going to be the go time right there to fucking pit. Oh, my language, sorry. But anyway, I told them from the get-go that was going to be the call, and it actually worked out if it stayed green. But that first run right there, I was kind of analyzing the times, and there's really no fall off. And I was like, well, it kind of slowly fell off, but it wasn't tremendous. So I was saving tires the first run, got to the guys in the front, and I was like, let's pit. And took my 2 tires, and it worked out. I mean, they started catching me there a little bit towards the end, but I would say with 5 to go, I felt like I had it with 2.5 in the bag. So I was just trying to be smart with it.
Well, congrats on the win. I think we might need to have a little censor button that Lucas keeps close by after this interview today. But hey, on the 2-tire pit stop, was that something that you had kind of thought about pre-race? Is that something that, like, you've done here before to be able to get that track position, or was it just kind of a spur of the moment? Let me try this to get ahead of some of these other folks ahead of me.
And like I said, like when we were in practice qualifying, I told the guys straight up, literally lap 44, lap 45, taking 2 tires, taking fuel, and we're going to roll on with it. So I had a feeling it would work. Like I said, there was no fall off. So at least I had the 2 tires to lean on the long run right there. So thankfully it worked out.
Daniel, you want a censor button? Everybody wants a censor button? Here's your censor button. I don't even know if Lucas. I don't even know if Lucas has got the soundboards checked to where we can have it. But he probably doesn't. But anyway, Jeremy, buddy, congratulations on the win here tonight. You lock yourself into Kansas. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you, sponsors. Here's shout outs, bud.
Yeah, man. Pat and Jamie at GLR, Lincoln Tech, Safe 22. Appreciate them being on the car. Everything they do for GLR. My guys, Premier Racing Setups. Of course, y'all guys at V Speed. Appreciate y'all. Can't wait to go back and watch that on the broadcast. Cruisin Classics, Nasties. Yeah, let's see if we can go 2 for 2 this year.
He's got a damn good shot at it. I'd say that he is the favorite going in to the championship race in 2 weeks. He ain't even got to worry about Phoenix when we get there next week. Jeremy, buddy, congratulations on winning. Appreciate your time. We will see you at Phoenix, though. Pretty much a throwaway race, but we'll see you there, bud.
Yes, sir. Still going for a win, though.
Going for the win, as he always does. That was Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, or Meatball Gardner. Hell, whatever. At this point, we'll go to a second place finisher who had a pretty good little ride on him, here tonight. I mean, you picked him. You done better than my pick. Well, actually, no, I picked Gardner. But anyway, that's beside the point. And that is James Silvers comes home with a P2 here tonight. James, buddy, I mean, awesome race. You come home second. I'm sure that's not exactly what you wanted. Obviously, you wanted to get the win to go to Kansas, but P2, you'll take it. But, I mean, what else did you need other than apparently 2 tires to have a shot against Jeremy Gardner?
I think you said it right on the money. I think I needed 2 tires. That strategy, I mean, I give it to him. I mean, it actually worked out for him, and I thought we was going to be running fast together. I mean, we were running fast together. I mean, me and Canova, and I think it was Barkus and Cody Anderson. And I knew I was just a tad bit faster than the boys in front of me. But, I mean, somebody has to lead the line so we could try to get up there with the draft and everything. But once I realized that I was, like, not really tremendously faster, but I could start pulling a couple tenths a lap, then I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to draft with him, but I can maybe run him down. But no, Gardner, he pulled that move right out. I mean, that was great. That's a great move to be able to short pit us like that a couple of laps. I think he might have pit 1 or 2 laps before me, but taking 2 tires was definitely the strat because his tires didn't fall off. So give it to him for that. That's what we were missing tonight. And if I think we could have got that, we might have been able to win this race, but second place ain't bad.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Really strong run here with the second place to kick off the round of 8. And, you're getting hot at the right time. Of course, you won right before the Thanksgiving break, went out and smoked the field really at Bristol, and then come out here and run second this evening. You're up there right around the top 5 the entire race. How do you carry this momentum into Phoenix, try to get your way in there to that championship race?
I just got to be consistent and keep doing what we've been doing and keep hosting these practices and hoping all the Cornerstone boys show up and put in some laps and give us all the information we can do. But going into Phoenix next week should be a pretty good race. I usually run pretty good at that track. Statistically, that's my best track on iRacing. Now, don't hold me to it, but that's what it says. But, yeah, hopefully we can just get some good practice this week and be prepared for next week and roll right into it with the same momentum.
James Silvers comes home with a P2 here tonight. He'll take it all day long. James, buddy, congratulations on the P2. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you, sponsors. Any shout-outs?
Yeah, thank you, Jake. I'd like to thank you, Daniel, and Lucas, and everybody at V-Speed that does a great job on the broadcast. Amazing job every week. 10 out of 10, boys. 10 out of 10. Then I'd like to shout out the sponsors for GLR, Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruisin Classics, and Nasty's the premier sponsor of the Cup Series, and V-Speed, and Alexander's PCs. And then I'd like to shout out the Cornerstone sponsors. Oh, Lord, where'd my list go? There it is. Aerial Professionals, WNC, Gigi's Restaurant of Waynesville, North Carolina, Jake's Junk Solutions, Mountain View Detailing, Mount Silver Supply Company, and Waynesville Tire. And then shout out everybody at Cornerstone and all the crew chiefs and Alex Penn and all the drivers. And let's keep this momentum up, and maybe we can make this championship race.
Well, James Silvers comes on with the P2 here tonight. James, buddy, congratulations on the finish. Appreciate your time. We'll see you at Phoenix next week.
All right, thank you, boys. Don't you get too wild now without me.
We will try not to. That is James Silvers. Comes home with a P2 here this evening. Done the best he could. He done all he could. Just wasn't enough. We'll go to Dylan Canova. comes home with the P3. Hear that, Dylan, buddy? Damn, boy, I'm telling you, you may be the high side Canova. That may be your nickname because it seems like every damn time I see you try to make a pass, you was up on that top side trying to make it work. Talk to us about that because it seemed like the outside was the lane to be in if you was going to make pass. Some of them was on the inside, but it seemed like that outside, baby, when y'all got up there, y'all were just hauling ass up there on that top side.
Yeah, the top was where I like to run pretty much everywhere, especially these 1.5 miles and bigger tracks like Michigan tonight. I'm not a bottom feeder. Race dirt, run the cushion. So it's just natural to me. So I think the most important part was just hitting your marks and keeping your run up there. If you made a small mistake or allowed that guy on the bottom to get a run, they would just blow by you on entry if you didn't try and stay down on their door. But yeah, I love the top when it works, and I could not figure out the bottom tonight. So I just stuck it up there and hope for the best.
Well, it certainly worked out for you. I mean, you ran up in that top 3, top 5 pretty much the entirety of the race. After that green flag pit cycle, you're part of that little pack of 4 that was trying to find a way to run down Jeremy Gardner. Was your mindset kind of to try to work with some of those drivers around you, maybe see if you can draft up there to him, or did you feel like with the lead that he had that he was kind of out of reach and just basically trying to fight for every point you could at that point?
I think we could have had we worked together, but it's tough. You got Marcus, Silvers, and I all running in the playoffs. I don't believe Anderson is. I know he had the banner, but I don't believe so. But it's tough because Silvers was definitely the fastest of the 3 of us. So I think him being out front of the group would have gave us the best shot. But how do you pull over and let somebody go that you're racing for a chance to go run down Gardner? Because it's not even a guaranteed if we work together perfectly, we run him down. So you're giving away what could be a crucial point to make it to the final 4. So I wanted to work together, obviously, while I was out front. And then once Silvers had that huge run on me, I figured it was just going to hurt us both to battle him too hard. But yeah, it's tough to pull over and let somebody go when you know that point could be the difference. I mean, I think there was a 3 or 4 way tie after Bristol last week to making the round of 8. So it's hard to give up that point.
Well, Dylan Canova comes home with the P3 here tonight. Dylan, buddy, congratulations on the P3. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you, sponsors and shout outs.
Yeah, you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch it afterwards. All the admins here at Goat Locker that give us a place to race on Wednesday nights. All the drivers that show up every week. All the fans out there watching. Cruisin Classics, iRacing, MK Fire Design, SimMotion, all the sponsors here that make Goat Locker possible. And then obviously everybody back at Revved Up Racing, Victory Fuel, 4x Dennis, Circle W Farms, and everybody back there that makes it possible to come out here every week.
Dylan Canova comes home P3 here tonight. Dylan, buddy, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the P3. We'll see you at Phoenix next week.
Thank you. See you then.
That was Dylan Canova, P3 here this evening. Hey, Daniel, that's the podium finishers. That is where we're going next week. Not the championship. You cross that championship thing up there off for that. But it is Phoenix. Obviously, it's the site of the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series championship race. Thank God it's not going to be there next year. Thank God. I think I'm speaking for everybody out there saying that we're happy that it's going to Homestead. But Phoenix is going to be one of those races where this is going to get interesting. Could be that little bit of a bump, bumping people out of the way, that little short track deal. What's one take other than the short track excitement that we could take from Phoenix?
Well, just, we see it in real life with how wild the restarts get. And, just people using that dog leg down there, cutting that apron. And I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more, but I believe that iRacing does have the short track aero package that they use in real life on these cars for Phoenix. So that'll make them a little bit harder to drive, make it a little bit more interesting. I know that car at short tracks, it's definitely more of a handful even than it is at the intermediate. So going to be a lot to keep an eye on as we decide which 4 drivers are going to be racing for that championship at Kansas.
Absolutely cannot wait to see how that's going to work out next week when we go to Phoenix. Well, Daniel, final thoughts on the night at Michigan. I mean, it's like we said, 1 caution, 8 lead changes. Your final thoughts on the race here this evening?
Yeah, the track definitely lived up to what we were talking about pre-race. Gives you a lot of options to run and try to make moves. Of course, the high line is the dominant line, but saw a lot of drivers working their way up through the field, a lot of great side-by-side racing. And then, you always got to love a good strategy call for somebody to be able to go out and take a win away.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the best one, I might get myself in trouble for saying it. But anyway, I mean, Jeremy Gardner certainly has been the class of the field this season. He was to be the one that I would think would try to throw that strategy out there. Certainly did, and it paid off for him, and it worked out, and he's going to Kansas. We will be there in 2 weeks, but we got to go through Phoenix next week. We'll see how that one ends up working out. Love Michigan. Love that track. I would love to go to a race there, but it's just too damn far from Georgia, and I ain't got the money. So that is beside the point. But, folks, that is going to do it for this broadcast here on VSP. Got to thank all the great sponsors here with Goat Locker, obviously Cruisin Classics, Jam Printing and Promotions, let me rephrase all that. Jam Printing Promotions for the Pole Award, Lincoln Tech, obviously Save 22, MK Fire Designs, Invents, Nasty's Restaurant, Bar, Club Station, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line Podcast, and can't forget about the first one that I mentioned, Cruisin Classics, for the title sponsor of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Shout out to the drivers, putting on a hell of a show, as they always do, and the fans come out in big old numbers for Goat Locker Racing. Patrick Dravick, Jamie Barkis, Eddie Smith for always allowing us to come up here and be ourselves, entertain you, the fans. For one of the best damn producers in the business, Double L, Lucas Lyons, and Daniel Cunningham, my good buddy, co-commentating. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Said as always, be safe, be kind, be fast. Michigan's over with, high speeds, all that 3-4 wide. Yeah, it's gone, baby. We're going short track racing next week at Phoenix. Will be a blast. Will there be beef? Will there be contact? Will there be any kind of issues? I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play it. We got beef. We may have beef next week in Phoenix. I can't wait, folks. We will see you next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live and only on VSpeed.